If you ask women and girls what their main fear would be should the world end or society around them collapse, they're going to tell you that part of their fear is what men are going to do to them given the opportunity. And I think part of that is because women are walking around with the knowledge that what stops a lot of men from doing awful things to them is the idea that there might be a repercussion for them, for the man, if they were to be caught and found out, that society would know that they had done this thing, would judge them, that they would go to jail, like whatever. If you're a guy listening to this, I want you to think really carefully about some of the dudes that you know and what they would do to women and girls if they could guarantee that they would never be caught. There's a really poignant scene in The Walking Dead where one of the male characters says something like, if these guys find us, our men are going to be dead and our women are going to wish that they were. And as a former humanitarian aid worker, I was warned about this all the time. I was warned, like, if you go there and you are taken, they will kill the men, but what they will do to you is going to be so much worse. And also, as a humanitarian aid worker, I have been to countries and spoken to people who witnessed society collapse and the chaos around that because of like extreme weather events or natural phenomenon or even civil war. And the one thing that every one of those scenarios had was women and girls being raped and sexually assaulted. I went to Haiti in 2010 after the earthquake, and I also went to Pakistan after a flood happened in the same year. And in both countries, I spoke to women who were raped or sexually assaulted by men within the chaos, because men seized their opportunity to do something to these women and girls, knowing that it was highly unlikely, because it was chaotic, that they were going to be caught and held accountable for those actions. And the same thing happened when I went to Jordan a few years ago to speak to Syrian refugees. The women there told me of being raped and sexually assaulted when they were in Syria, when they were trying to escape the civil war, and also after they'd moved to Jordan and were living in refugee camps. Like, they were afraid to go to the toilet. They moved around in packs. Like, there was this knowledge in the back of their mind, like, there are men here who will seize the opportunity to do something to me because they don't feel like anything's going to happen to them as a result of doing that. Imagine being a man and only having to worry that the world might end or society might collapse, and not also having to worry about what the other gender will do to you if that happens. Like, some things are worse than death. And women are walking around with the knowledge that what keeps them safe is this tiny thread of a threat that men might pay the price if they do something like that. Once that's gone.
Alright, shalom to the elect of Yah, SHAR, and shalom to the other men, women, and children of Yah, SHAR, who YAHAWAH YAHAWASHI is going to have mercy upon them. I want to start off by giving a much due all phrases, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM HAQADASH, Halalyam La, NAWA, NAWA, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM HAQADASH. And double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone, and much due respect to the sincere Akim who are laboring in works, and shalom to you believers, to the Akim wa which be you brothers and few amount of sincere sisters who subscribe to this truth. I'm your brother Malkaya, representing prophets of Pasadena, Texas camp, 77504 branch. Our Barak, this lesson is edifying and playing upon the tables. Alright, I don't have any particular order, but I'm just going to bring them out and then break it down. Lord willing's edifying. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 19 in the KJV. Let's see. Let's do, I think, the 21, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 19 through 21 in the KJV. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that get sucked in those days. So, and what days? For example, Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose. when America becomes a lawless country, let's say, like a purge-like society. Okay? It's not going to be a good time to be a single mother. All right? It's not going to be a good time to be a woman that's pregnant and you don't have a head, a man to protect you, a man of the Lord. All right? In those days when all hell breaks loose. All right? It's not going to be a good thing to be proud about being a single mother. All right? But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So we're going to come to a time where it's going to far surpass all the times when YAHAWASHI visited earth back then. And it's going to far and the times that we're coming into is going to be a time like it. It's never going to be a time like it again, if that makes sense. Let me get another version right quick. The Good News Translation. And this happened back then. It's going to happen again for sure on this time. Because pride is at its peak. All right. Wickedness has exceedingly polluted the earth and reached as high as heaven. All right. The Good News Translation. How terrible it will be in those days. And what days? Jacob's trouble. All hell breaking loose, man. All right. For women who are pregnant and for mothers with little babies. Pray to Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI that you would not have to run away during the winter or on the Sabbath. For the trouble at that time will be far more terrible than any there has ever been from the beginning of the world to this very day. Nor will there be anything like it again. So Jacob's trouble is going to be a time that's going to far surpass the flood during Noah's time. It's going to far surpass all the acts that were recorded in the Holy Bible when YAHAWASHI visited earth to bring judgment. Right? So you women, it will be very wise for you Israelite women to take this seriously and get in order. All right? Stop fucking around. Stop trying to squeeze in one more summer of a hot girl summer. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 6 to 7 KJV. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail for a child. Right? Like, ask yourself, can a man get pregnant? Or is it just like a rhetorical question, I guess you would say. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, right? Because, a lot of men are afraid. All right, it's going to get so bad out here that men are going to be shouting, screaming, behaving like a woman when all hell is just completely broken. Like, it's just pure chaos out here. They got their hands on their loins. They're afraid. Just like a woman, probably even worse. Let's not forget about famine. You're gonna have a lot of people. You're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna be starving. People are afraid. So how much more you want? All right. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. Trouble for the 2/3 of our nation who will not repent and come back and seek Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, Native American Indians, and you Israelite foreigners, men, women, and children, young or old. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Is even the time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. But he shall be saved out of it. The elect. And we hope to be of the elect. The hopeful elect are hoping to be the elect. Because only the elect are going to be saved out of all the trouble that's going to come upon the earth. Okay? All right. Men, there's the elect men, and then the remaining of the remnant, right? That makes up the 1/3 chart. Other Israelite men, women, and children. All right. Let's see. Let me go here very quick. The book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 10 in the KJV. Then she that is my enemy shall see it. A lot of you Israelite women are going to see that you are an enemy unto Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. And he's going to pour his spirits of vengeance, his wrath upon a lot of his creations, especially men, to visit you, to hunt you down and destroy you, to kill you, to torture you, to rape you, to do a lot of things to you, let's say. All right? Because you refuse to repent. All right? Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI thy God? You got a lot of Israelite women that be scoffing and mocking, making little, videos on TikTok and on Instagram, making comedy skits of the terrible, terrifying acts, the judgments that he brought upon the world, scoffing and mocking at the men of the Lord. All right. Where is the Lord? So it says, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI thy God? My eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. A lot of you women are about to be visited by a lot of men. Okay? Men who you put on child support. Men who you lied to the government to, saying that he's the father of your children, but really he wasn't the father of your children, and you had to pay child support for a seed, right, that he did not bring forth, and you gave him a hard time. They're going to be looking for you to destroy you. Men who you put in prison, they're going to look for you and destroy you. Men who you did wrong are going to destroy you. Men who you've been teasing and enticing, right, showing your nakedness, and you never gave them the time of the day. Those men who you got in the friend zone, right, are going to be looking for you to rape you, to ravish you, to destroy you, to beat the shit out of you. The troops that's going to be around here in America, the EU troops are going to be ravishing you, torturing you, stomping you out, beating the shit out of you. That's how bad it's about to get out here for a lot of you women. Now shall she be trodden down as a mire of the streets. All right. The book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 9 to 12, KJV. Rise up, you women that are at ease, right? You Israelite women, so-called black women, Hispanic women, Latino women, Native American Indian women, Israelite foreign women. Rise up, you women that are at ease, right? You're arrogant, you're complacent, free from worries. You're wanton, right? You lack self-discipline, right? Because you're a sexually unrestrained woman, right? You're a thought. You want to have hot girl summers and just put any man's rod in your mouth, put any man's rod inside of you. You claim to have a husband, but you still hopping around committing adultery. All right, you're playing the law of a harlot, a hoe. Hear my voice, which are the prophets of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. They are his voice. You careless daughters. A lot of you Israelite women are very careless on your acts. The way how you speak to men, how you speak to people. All right, you're very disrespectful, verbally, physically. All right. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Take heed with fear and trembling to these lessons. All right. Take them seriously. Take heed to these warnings. Okay. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the venture shall fail, the gathering shall not come. When America shuts down, the fashions of this world passes away. It is a lawless society. It is pure chaos out here. Jacob's trouble at its fullest. Everything's going to fail. The gathering will not come. Ain't going to be no more 911. You will not be able to call a police officer for help, a firefighter for help, a first responder for help. You ain't going to be able to get help. You ain't going to have, to say, protection and security. That's going to be done away with. All right? Ain't nobody going to come to your aid. You're going to have a lot of men that's going to try to come to your sufferings to partake in a judgment, destroy you, rape you, torture you, do all kinds of things to you. All right? It's going to be a society where you no longer have a voice, a say-so. It's going to be completely against you. Verse 11, tremble, ye women that are at ease, and you women are not trembling. You still having a good time. You still trying to squeeze in another hot girl summer. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Right? Instead of being a righteous woman, you still want to be a strong, independent career mother, career woman, instead of getting your ass in order and learning how to be a woman, a servant unto a man. Okay? But you want to do your own thing. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. YAHAWASHI is about to strip everything from you careless women, you Israelite women. The power that you have here in America is about to get stripped away from you. Everything that you work so hard to get is about to get stripped away from you. Security from the enemy, 911 for example, taken away from you. Being able to just gather abroad and commit such sins as adultery, being wanton, and not being held accountable for it is finally about to come upon you women. You will about to be held accountable for your wickedness, especially committing adultery, being wanton, sexually unrestrained, being a whore. All right? And any other sins you committed. And gird sackcloth upon your loins. All right? Get ready to catch holy hell, I guess you could say. All right? Child support is about to get taken away from you. All forms of government assistance taken away from you. Security is one of them. Housing assistance, financial assistance. All of it is about to get taken away from you. All right? Everything. No more being able to beautify yourself. All right? A lot of you women are going to be stinking, looking real hit. No more makeup, no more cumbrellas. If you don't know what I mean by cumbrellas, you know, it's the long eyelashes that you wear on your eyelids that looks real ridiculous. Fake hair, makeup, you know. All right, it's about all of it. It's about to get taken away from you, you Israelite women that are at ease, that's careless. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. So it's going to get so bad out here that you women are going to be crying, wishing that things went back to normal, right? When everything is taken away from you. But guess what? It's not going to go back to normal. It's going to get worse. And the times you're coming into, okay? So rise up, you women that are ease, that's careless, okay? Repent to YAHAWASHI, hey, learn the hard way and die. All right. Let's see. The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 16, KJV. Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. So a lot of you Israelites that has children that did not want to repent to YAHAWASHI, you're going to witness your children being battered to death. Right? Battered. The GNT goes into that. It says, while they look on helplessly, their babies will be battered to death. And a lot of these troops are going to be doing that to your Israelites' children. Right, battered. All right. It says injured by repeated blows or punishment. So it says strike repeatedly with hard blows. So your children, you're going to witness your children being literally smashed on the ground, his brains just all over the place. His eyeballs probably came out of his socket, bones broken, being cut up right before your face shot up. Well, who knows, man? It's going to get bad out here, man. All right? For you Israelites that has a family, has children, but you don't want to repent to YAHAWASHI, their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, and you're going to witness it. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. A lot of you Israelites that has wives are going to witness your wife being raped right before you, and it won't be pleasant. It's going to be very violent, being done by multiple men, and they probably won't even use only their actual penis to ravish your wife. They'll probably be using objects too, like machetes, broomsticks, you name it. All right, the Good News Translation. While they look on helplessly, their babies will be battered to death. Their houses will be looted. You're gonna get robbed. All right. And their wives will be raped. All right, plain and simple. Let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 11. We'll get the KJV first, and then we'll get, let's see, the NLT. Yeah. All right, so the KJV for the book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 11. Right, this happened back then. It's going to happen again this time. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. So real soon our enemies and even the men of the 2/3 chart are going to be evil too, and they're going to be raping a lot of Israelite women too. You're going to have wicked Israelite men that's also going to partake in raping the women in Zion. You can look at Zion as representing the Northern Kingdom women, right? So-called Hispanic, Latino women, Native American Indian women, and you're also going to have maids, right? Young girls, just as young as probably, let's say 8 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old, right? And that represents the Southern Kingdom, right? The tribe of Judah, so-called Negroes, the tribe of Benjamin, so-called, let's say the Jamaicans, the tribe of Levi, the so-called Haitians, right? A lot of women are going to get raped out here. Real talk. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. All right, and that day is who? 2/3 Israelite men, Edomite men, heathen men, these EU troops. All right. It's not going to be a good time to be a single independent woman, all right, when society collapses. The book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 2, in the KJV, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, right? The elect men, the men of the Lord. That's going to be made more precious than fine gold, right? Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 12, right? That's why Isaiah 4:1 is going to happen. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So the elect men, the men of the Lord, are going to be as a hiding place, protection for you women when all hell breaks loose. All right. And in order to partake in that hiding place, YAHAWASHI he's going to have to decide if he want to have mercy upon you, and then you will become one of the wives of his sons to take away your reproach. All right, so you can bear children for him. Okay, to partake in the rebuilding of the nation, Yahshua. Let me get that in the expanded Bible. Oh, Salaki, let me my bad. Let me type the Isaiah 4:1 real quick. And then we end up with that. The book of Isaiah, chapter 4 and verse 1. In that day, what day? Jacob's trouble, shit in the fan, all hell breaking loose. And in that day, 7 women, a complete number of women, shall take hold of one man, and these 7 women are all going to be women to be, a wife, wives. Okay, not a mother, a aunt, a grandmother. All right, that would be unlawful. We cannot take away the reproach of our biological mother. That's going on. Our biological grandmother. That's going off. All right, it's going to be women who are going to become wives for the elect men. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Polygamy is coming back, which is righteous. Okay, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name. And a woman is called by a man's name through sex. That's marriage. That's how a woman takes on the name of a man, is through sex, and that's marriage. To take away our reproach, right? To take away their condition of resting upon shame, disgrace, feeling scorn, despicable, feeling like they deserve hatred, like they're worthless, pretty much. Right? All right. So they can, receive protection from you, who is a hiding place, the elect men. Right? The Expanded Bible is really good. For the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1, Expanded Bible. At that time, in that day, 7 women will grab one man. War will have decimated the male population. Right? War would have decimated the male population. War would have killed, destroyed, or removed a large percentage or part of the male population. So World War III, Civil War, race wars, riot wars, just pure chaos out here in America. It's going to kill a lot of men, especially Israelite men. A lot of Israelite men are going to die. A lot of so-called black men, Hispanic men, Latino men, Native American Indian men, Israelite foreigner men are going to die in these upcoming wars that's going to take place here in America. That's why, another reason why these the elect men are going to be made more precious than fine gold. Okay. War would have decimated the male population, and say, we will eat our own bread and wear our own clothes, things that husbands would normally provide. But please marry us. It says us. It doesn't say me, singular. It's saying us. Women are going to finally want to get in order. They're just going to have to get with the program of righteousness, because if they don't, they're going to fucking die. Plain and simple. It says, but please marry us. Let us be called by thy name. Please take away our shame, right? Reproach, disgrace from having no husband or children. All right. Let's get that in the Message version right quick. The Message. That will be the day when 7 women will gang up on one man. Women are going to be very bold in those times. They're going to be chasing men down, the elect men down. Really, really trying to get you to impregnate them. They're gonna want you. They're gonna want the elect men to make them pregnant. They're gonna want you to clap them cheeks, so they can have that reproach taken away and be under your protection through YAHAWASHI's mercy and grace, His grace and mercy. That will be the day when 7 women will gang up on one man, saying, we'll take care of ourselves, get our own food and clothes, just give us a child, make us pregnant, so we'll have something to live for. Hey, that's all I got to bring up for today's lesson. I prophesied the lesson was edifying, very plain upon the tables. All right. The time will come where a lot of women are going to be ravished. A lot of women are going to die in our nation, and men too. Judgment is right around the corner on a whole nother level. You Israelite women that knows about this truth, you better stop fucking around You better stop trying to squeeze in another day, another week, another month, another summer of a hot girl summer, just doing whatever the hell you want to do. You better get your ass in order before all hell break loose. Alright, real talk. Alright. So our process of the lesson was edifying. I'm going to close out by giving the much due, all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH, AHBA NAWA, NAWA, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. And double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone, and much due respect to the sincere Akim who are laboring in the works. And shalom to you believers, to the Akim wa which would be your brothers and few among the sincere sisters who do subscribe to this truth. DTA, Abad, Babal soon, Kwam Yashala. Abba Yahawah Bahashim, YAHAWASHI, Babakashah, Shalak Rayam, Wa Abayam, Haragyam, Mashapayam, Al-Qal Adamwamyam, Gawayam, Ayabyam NAWA, Lahamarayam, Lababa, Baukasha, Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawashai, Tawada, Aman.